everyone, welcome to the Lidocaine Drip.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jess, and we'll be your hosts for today.
And always...
We're not really organized on this podcast.
Not organized at all.
But we're going to have fun along the way.
You know, we're here to talk about what you may be thinking throughout the day and don't say, or what you do say and get in trouble for saying. That's usually what I do.
In all seriousness, we made this podcast to combat mental health issues in veterinary medicine.
Mental health in general.
In general. And we're here to inject humor into the darkness of our lives.
Very dark, very, very dark lives.
So let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it. All right, here we are.
All right, we're about to do something for you guys.
Scandalous.
Oh. Well, it's kind of for us, but then we'll tell you about our experience with it. So we're here at kind of a sensory deprivation pod place. I don't know, what would you call it?
Establishment.
Even
though they don't say when they were established on the building. Most places do.
Oh, it's okay.
But they're fairly new, so...
Well, we're going to go in. We'll give you our review about it a little bit later. Hopefully we don't have bad experiences and freak out, but...
I was just... Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to get a word in. I was talking to somebody, and I might have a problem after, laying for a while, I get a little bored. So I didn't think about sitting by myself with no phone.
For an hour.
By the way, I dropped my phone, or I left my phone in the bathtub last night, so that's another story. But
we'll get to that later.
What am I going to do for an hour? I hope I have an out-of-body experience.
I do too.
I think I'm going to, and that's what's scaring me a little, but it could go either way. It can go very bored or very good.
Let's just see what happens. And until then, we'll next time you guys hear from us, it will be after we're done. And
we'll have a new microphone if we can get it to play for us, but...
I'm technologically challenged.
Got it from Amazon today. It arrived, so we'll see if the quality's better. It's probably going to sound the same as this, but whatever.
That's what you get for $17.
And 99 cents. All right, so here we go. Let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it.
We'll just have to use the shitty microphone. It's fine.
Okay.
We've had followers with it so far.
Yeah, I don't think our followers care if we have our, microphone or not, even though Amazon screwed up and sent us the wrong cable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you turned it on. So yeah. I was getting my oatmeal. I just had a little bit. I didn't finish earlier. And I got a nice berry pomegranate chia bars. Cliff Bars, my new favorite brand. I don't know what it is, like 12 grams of protein.
That's pretty good.
I'm exhausted.
Alright, so...
I'm going to try not to shout this time.
We just finished the sensory deprivation pods, and we had to, rush back home so that we could start talking about it.
Oh, by the way, we don't have... Our microphone's not working, so this is why it sounds the same. Shit, because our new microphone lied to us, but...
Amazon lied to us. Anyway... we had to rush back. Kevin needed a snack because he got all hypoglycemic, and...
I don't even know if it was hypoglycemic. I just knew I needed something in my stomach after that ride I went on in that sensory pod.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. So, all I know is... Alright, we walk in, okay, and my first impression was... It was kind of surreal. It was just a weird experience. But it smelled like a sterile spa. I
felt so cleansed from walking in. I felt like I had a whiff of serenity just hit my body. Like I don't know, it was the ions in the air or something.
Well, they also have a salt room there too, right?
I wasn't impressed with the salt room.
I wasn't either. I'm glad we didn't do that.
When I saw the salt room, I was like, it's blocks of salt and built into the wall. Usually it's like a cave. The whole thing's surrounded in different salt.
Mm-hmm. We'll find a real salt cave one day.
Yeah.
We'll try it, and we'll let you guys know how it is. But, yeah, so, okay, you were overwhelmed with a whiff of serenity.
Mm-hmm.
And, it smelled like a sterile spa to me. I don't know how else to say it. It was kind of spa-like, but they didn't quite have, all of the incense or essential oils going on. So it was almost there, but not quite. And then there was just one other single person in the entire building. Well, actually, no, that's not true. When we were in there filling out our waivers, there was that guy talking about his journey, and then he said something about his guru.
The woman was like, I want to follow your journey on Instagram, like, you need to show it to people and stuff, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, it's like, who are these people?
I thought he was like a celebrity or something for a minute.
Yeah, what world did we step into? Huh?
The real world.
The real world. I'm currently eating a waffle because Kevin offered me one.
With honey, but...
Yeah, I like honey instead of syrup sometimes.
Well, my maple syrup somehow froze in the fridge. How is that even possible?
I don't know.
It's on the door of the fridge. Nothing else is frozen. Like, how does a syrup freeze? I even know syrup could freeze.
Yeah, of course it can.
I guess.
Everything can if you try hard enough.
Alright, well, keep going.
So then we filled out our waivers and we got a little tour of what this place was, and it's not very big, but
it's quaint.
Yeah, it was quaint. Again, sterile spa. But they have like a little, what did she call it? Like a beauty room or something. Basically, there's just like a mirror on a desk that they had like a hairdryer and stuff for afterwards. And then she showed us one of the 2 rooms that you can float in, and it was like a shower. They provide you with all the towels. They provide you shampoo, soap, conditioner, and then there's like this tank, which is basically like a giant bathtub, but it's kind of shallow. Like, I guess like a typical bathtub is.
Yeah, it's like a large bathtub.
It's kind of, yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's a bathtub. Alright.
Bathtub, like, crossed with a pool. So it was, I don't know.
A kiddie pool?
Yeah, a kiddie pool. That's
you
actually...
You were like a hybrid bathtub pool. Like, what does that even mean?
A kiddie pool. That was actually good. I just couldn't think of the word, but... and it's very warm in the room. Like, the water is heated to 98.6 degrees, so body temperature water. And the idea is that... Oh, there's also 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in each of those tanks. So that's what gives you the buoyancy, so you can float. And
oh god, I can't wait to talk.
And,
the buoyancy, wow.
So the idea is, like, why this is supposed to be beneficial. It's supposed to blur. So you're taking away all of the sensory input into your body. So you turn out the lights, and it's a completely pitch dark room. You can have earplugs in if you don't want to hear anything. You can also have the option of having music on, and then
can you hold on one second? Sorry, I just
he needs another snack.
I'm starving to death. I think I burned 1,000 calories and just floating. All right, keep going. Sorry, I just couldn't wait.
He had to open up his Cliff Bar
I didn't know
for
we were
you guys,
starting
in case
already.
you're wondering.
You like came back from the kitchen. You were like had it on already.
Well, because you always film it or record us. And,
yeah,
you know. I think your cat wants some of the Cliff Bar too.
I don't care. He can have some.
Here
you go.
Anyway, so the buoyancy and then the temperature of the water, it's supposed to decrease all sensory input. So you're basically just supposed to feel like you're floating in like space or whatever. We'll get to our experience in just a moment, but it's supposed to decrease all of the input to your nervous system, and then it's supposed to be like decrease stress that way. So that's kind of, I've wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah. Your face lit up like you were, I don't know what, you were really happy
to do it.
Like that, you had like an uninhibited happiness like on your face showing, and I was like, wow. Yeah,
I've wanted to do it for a really long time. So anyway, that's kind of the premise behind why it's supposed to work scientifically, and there are some articles and stuff you can look into. I don't know if I even can find them. I'm sure I could if you guys wanted us to, but anyway. Okay, so after we get the little tour, then she's like, all right, now you guys can go into your little rooms, and you have to shower off before, and then you can either wear a bathing suit or you can go completely au naturel in your birthday suit.
I think there's no questions asked. You have to go naked.
I know, I did too. I that's what I did. So
me too.
Then you shower, and then you like.
It was very, what's that word? Like freeing.
Yeah.
I felt so freeing.
It was good. So, Kevin, why don't you start off with your... or before we get to our experience, do you want to do our mental health check-in and Lidofact, or...
I didn't come with a Lidofact today.
I didn't either. Maybe we can do that at the end.
Or maybe we could... Do you have anything, just a fact that you know about something about surgery? Like a quick... You can use honey. Why don't we tell them about honey?
Oh, okay.
Well, half the people who are watching this probably know this.
Yeah. Right? Half the people listening are probably ones that we've already taught this to. But speaking of honey, you can use honey to treat wounds. Mm-hmm. But it's a specific kind of honey. Yep. So
Manuka honey.
Manuka honey from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. You can use that to treat wounds. And it's got a special compound in it called hydrogen peroxidase that basically kills bacteria. And that's why you can use it to treat really infected wounds.
Amazing.
So, there you go.
I've witnessed it firsthand.
Yep.
And it works.
Lidofact.
Lidofact. So we combine it together. See, we gave something. Yeah. Okay, so now, how are you? How are you doing? How's this week?
This week was a little bit better than last week. It's about the same. I'm doing a little bit more than surviving, which was how it was last week.
Yeah.
So
that's good then.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm not good. No, I'm okay. I'm okay, I guess. I feel like I'm just surviving this week. I think we're on opposite playing fields. I'm just tired. I'm just like tired of the blah 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 blah. I don't know. I just had a busy week. Maybe as I went home, I had some job interviews back home. And it was like a quick 48 hours home, and then like the traveling, I had 2 connections. I don't know. And then I got home at like midnight, and then I had to go to work the next day or school the next day. And so then, I don't know, it's just I'm a little exhausted. Broke my phone. You know what? I am not good. I somehow, my phone ended up in the bathtub last night, and it drowned, and it sacrificed itself. And I wasn't aware of it until this morning. So that wasn't like the best ending to the week.
Did you like wake up and find your phone at the bottom of the bathtub, like still full of water?
No, sometimes I take a bath and I like to charge it while I'm taking a bath because my old phone now sucked, and it had like the battery didn't last long. That's all we have to say. And so I'll charge it. So I woke up out of like a nice slumber, and I see my like phone charger dangling over the bathtub, like the side of the bathtub, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, where's my phone? And I was like, oh my god. And like I knew what happened. And so I went and looked in the bathtub, and there was like 5 inches of water, and my phone was just immersed in it. Like, why didn't I even drain the bathtub?
Drunk Kevin strikes again.
I've never done anything like that in my life.
Oh.
I don't know what the heck happened there, but... So, that's my week.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you got a new phone, and maybe the battery will last a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. I have my other one in a plastic bag with cat litter and rice, a combo. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll draw out the hours.
Cat litter?
I know. Well, I read it online. Hopefully it does something. Because that's like it absorbs moisture. I don't know.
I've only heard of the rice.
I'm exhausted. Me too.
I've only heard of the rice. Hey, you know what?
Cat litter all stuck up in it with water, and it's going to clump inside my phone.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Anyway, do you want to start it off with your experience? Or should we just kind of do them simultaneous?
I talk at this point.
Should we just do them simultaneously then?
Yeah, let's just go back and forth.
Okay, so, I walked in and I was like, all right. First thing I did was pull out my phone and take pictures of the room so that we can maybe post it later on Instagram.
Mine you can't post.
Oh.
I don't know, it was like nice mood lighting. There was like a crystal charging, whatever you call it, the salt lamp. That was like the glow in there. I was like, yeah.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I'll post mine to Instagram then. So I was not all about that life, but no judgment. I appreciate it.
Judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone. Yeah, so I walked in, took some pictures, and then I was like, all right, let's do this. So you have to start off with taking a shower. I didn't really appreciate that they made us use their own soap and shampoo, but whatever, I did it.
I didn't care.
And I'm going to have to re-dye my hair anyway, which I knew that the salt from the water was going to just destroy it, so that's fine. I was expecting that. And then, okay, so you get in, and there's like a little skinny pool noodle that you can put underneath your knees. And then there was this like halo thing that you can rest your head in, like a little cradle, and it floats and it helps your head float. But to be honest, you didn't really need those to have everything float because you're so buoyant. But the thing that's deceiving is you get into the tub and you're there, and then you don't, like, until you sit down and your legs float up and you're like, I have no control over my
right
limbs.
Until you sit back. That's when it hit me. Yep. I was like, oh my.
You didn't realize, this actually is, okay. It's
like going on a roller coaster backwards. Yeah. That's how I was like, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only way I could describe it.
And, so I used the little halo thing, and I used the pool noodle under my knees. And then they also tell you to float with your arms above your head so that your neck doesn't get pinched and kind of, I don't know. It was just more comfortable to have your
slouch, you slump with your shoulders. And
yeah. So to have your arms above your head. So that was, my first experience. I was kind of like a little weirded out. And then when the buoyancy of the water just took over, I was like, I can't. I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this.
I don't know if I can do this. I had about 50 different experiences. I think my first experience was fright when I had to sit back, and I'm like 6'2", like my body's like, I have a lot of limbs to be floating up.
You do?
And so I laid back. Well, first off, I started, and I sprayed the spray in my hair, and I don't know if it was, I thought we were supposed to put it in our hair if we wanted.
No, that was fresh water.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Well, whatever I put in my hair, I lay back, and my eyes started burning, and I was like, oh my god, my eyes are on fire. And I was like, did I put like a chemical that they spray down the tub with, like, in my eyes? And so I had to immediately sit up, and I had to grab, like, the door. I had turned the lights off at this point, so I couldn't find the handle to the door. And I'm, like, searching around my hand, trying to feel, you know how you feel, like, on a wall? Couldn't find the door handle. Got the door handle, finally, and then I realized that you have to push the door open, not pull it. And I kept trying to pull it open. I was like, why isn't this stupid door?
Why didn't you turn the lights back on?
It didn't occur to me as I was standing up at this point.
But there's a button in the tub.
I know, I did it. I realized that. So I found my towel, wiped my eyes off, then I had to do the whole backwards roller coaster, lay down again, and then I'm floating there, and I had the music on probably for like the first 10 minutes.
Me too.
And then I turned
it off.
And I was like, I really want to go dark.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to go
Yep.
And that's when it got weird to me.
Yeah.
And it made me think of the blind and deaf thing too. And I was like, oh my god, this is like what it's like almost. But I have thought and I have images from my history on this earth with eyes, like eyesight. But I was like, this is what it's like an eternal black pit. And I was like laying there, floating when I didn't touch the sides. I kept getting pissed. Anytime I touched the side, my leg would jerk back, and I'd be like, oh my! I'd be so shocking, even though it just happened.
Yeah, no, I agree. Your toe would just touch the little bit of the tub, and you're like, oh god, what is that? And it'd bring me back. So that the sensory deprivation and not having anything touching you. That's real. I guess you don't realize how much you feel your clothes or when you're sitting down and you just move slightly. It apparently has a big input into your everyday life. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that was I don't know, the most interesting part to me. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. My blood pressure is probably so low right now.
Yeah,
it's a good thing, but anytime I touch the sides, I would get freaked out. So I listened to music, then I was like, why am I having the music on? Turn the music off. And that's when I started getting a little bit interesting. And I was like, see, I don't know what happened, but I was like seeing images in the black, and I was like forming like there's like images forming, and I was like, what if I'm going into another dimension or something? Or maybe I was hoping I was, but then like at one point, I felt like this huge, overwhelming. I don't know if it was warm in there. Like I thought it was going to be cold, but I felt like this pressure on me, and then I was having trouble breathing.
So you're having a like panic attack.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
And I felt literally, I was like, and so I had to stop and like take deep breaths, and like I thought I was literally gonna have to get out and like leave, and that's when I got nauseous. So that happened, and then right following that, as a nice present from my anxiety attack, I guess, I like started getting nauseous, and I was like, is this from last night going out, or is this from like not being able to, being able to, like when you're like on the boat or something, like you get nauseous from like your body can't sense where things are, and I think I was getting nauseous from like I was moving a lot
because you didn't have enough input.
Yeah.
I agree with the backward roller coaster. Like when you first get in, I felt like I was twirling. Like head and feet spinning around.
Yes,
but I know I wasn't, because the tub was not big enough for me to do that. But
my god, I had the same feeling.
I laid down and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I just couldn't deal with that. And then when I closed my eyes, I also listened to the music for about the first 10 minutes or so, and I was a little bit, I liked it at first, but then once I kind of got in there, and then I hate it when water like gets in my ears when I'm swimming, and I felt like that was happening to me, and the water was getting in my ears, and I was finally like, okay, screw it. I'm going to turn the music off. I'm just going to go underwater and just be dark, and it's just going to be fine. And then I did that. And after I did that, and like my eyes were closed the whole time, I felt like I was in outer space. And I don't know, like, I don't know.
I'm just noticing. Hold on. What is on my couch cushion? There's like this white, creamy, crusty. Wow, that was good rhyming. Material. Oh, you know what it is? This is definitely not the other. It's my babka bread. I made some Polish babka bread this week that my grandmother used to make. And the dough, I must have somehow come over here to my couch and like got a whole thing of this yeasty dough on it. Ew. Or it could have happened last night and I probably had peanut butter. It's not peanut butter. That doesn't look like peanut butter.
It doesn't look like peanut
it's
butter.
It's definitely the dough. That's all I know.
Did you think that came from your body because of the detox from the float tank? Okay, well,
my armpits are really showing some detox today. So sorry, keep going.
No, yeah. So I felt like I was in outer space, just kind of floating, and like I kept having visions of the Milky Way, like, or the galaxies, like floating through my mind, and I was like, oh, what if I'm just like, you know, those cartoons, or when they have like a, I don't know, TV show or something, and they make it seem like somebody's like floating out in space, and they're just like spinning and head over heels and just keep going. That's what I felt like the majority of the time, and I kept like going in and out of consciousness. So I don't know if I was like
in and out of consciousness.
I don't know if I was falling asleep or not, because I would like, my mind would go somewhere and then I'd like be brought back to the surface. And I don't know where I was going or what I was experiencing, because I can't remember it all. But
when you were saying, when I sat in once you put the hands behind your head, it's like game over. Like you are like, you're submitting yourself to like whatever the hell the universe wants to do to you. I literally felt like my body was like going, like you said, to the left, and I was like, wow, this is a bigger tub than I remember. That's literally my first thought. I was like, this is a bigger tub than I remember.
Did
like,
I shrink?
I was like, wow, like I'm like going to the left, and but literally I wasn't moving. And then at times I thought like the wall, like I felt like I was flowing down a river, like about to hit the wall, and I was like waiting for it to crash into me, and then it wouldn't crash, so I don't think I was moving.
Like the feeling you get when you're floating down on an inner tube, like down the river on an inner tube.
But we weren't moving.
No, we weren't moving.
Because my head was like a two. And, oh my God, that's. I believe it. I don't know.
You know what else I kept thinking about is if
I thought about Westworld, didn't it? I was seeing visions through the blackness, and then I was like, what if I'm like they're trying to wake up from?
Yeah.
They're processing me and like. I was seeing like images like that. I was trying to wake up out of it.
Westworld. That's coming back soon.
Yeah, April 1st. No,
soon.
April 10th.
Have you watched Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Okay, you know when she's like, she goes into a sensory deprivation tank to like find people.
Oh my
That's what
God.
I kept having visions of. I was like, let me try it. I'm like, let me try it. Who can I find? And I went.
I called out like all this, like my past people in my family that have died. I was like, this is the time that I was like, Grandma. That's right before I said Grandma and my grandfather's, and that's right before I had the pressure on my chest, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I don't know.
Maybe that's telling.
Was it anxiety or was it? I don't think it was anxiety. I think it was spirits.
I mean, the only way to know is to go back and try again.
I don't know.
Anyway, I feel like it was an experience to say the least, and it was kind of a jarring experience at the end when they like wake you up or tell you time is up from your float. They literally just turn all the lights back on, like no gradual slow increase, like dimming increase.
I don't know how I feel about
it
that.
was just like hey, time to wake up, here's the lights on, and you're like, oh shit, and you like aren't expecting it, and I didn't really appreciate that.
I had gotten up like 3 minutes before she hit the timer. I was like, I had the last 10 minutes, I went like a little crazy, and I was like, felt like I was never gonna get out. Like I just was like, not like that, I was just like, didn't know what else to do. Like I didn't want to be in my head anymore. Like, it's just me and my thoughts.
Yeah.
I was like, let me out.
Well, and then I took a shower, and when I walked out...
I'm not done with the experience at all.
I didn't really have much more. I kept going in and out of consciousness. I don't know where I was going.
Did you try the head thing?
Yeah.
I took it out after like 10 minutes. It's a totally different experience when your head's...
Oh, I had it in the whole time.
Really?
Mostly because I didn't want the salt water to get all on my face and my eyes.
It's weird then when the water went all the way in my ears. And
yeah,
so it was like...
That's why I have salt in my ears right now.
It was interesting when the water went.
It's still in there.
No, but I was like stretching. I have a bad shoulder. Remember, my right shoulder is bad. So I was I was doing like insane stretches, and I was like, this is the time to do the stretches because no weight is on any part of my body, so I can maybe isolate parts of the muscle of my shoulder that are messed up. And I was like, that's when I think I got nauseous because I was like stretching and moving, and like my body was like contorted in all these ways to try to get like the knots in my back. And that's when I was like, I'm moving too much and I gotta stop because I'm nauseous.
Well.
So that was all I had to say.
Okay. I think that's...
fair.
I think that, all in all, would you do it again? I guess is what the people need to know.
Yeah, I would need a little bit of a break between.
Yeah, I would do it again. I would definitely do it again.
It's very relaxing. It's very get in touch with your inner zen.
You have to... I guess you have to be afraid... Or you don't
have to be afraid.
You don't want to be afraid. You can't be afraid of having to be by yourself because like you don't have your phone. Like you said earlier, what are you going to do that whole time? You're literally just left with your thoughts. And that's all you got. So
it was like being in the womb again.
It kind of was. I don't really remember that time.
Where did we start from? Where are you before you're born? You're just... Well, that's enough.
Oh.
Like, those are the things I started thinking about.
Yeah, you're opening up a big... I don't... Maybe it's the galaxy. Maybe that's why we kept thinking outer space and stuff.
I hope... I guess.
I don't know. But I just... when I walked out of my float room and saw you sitting in the chill area, the look on your face said it all. Yeah.
I could probably remember like 10 things I wanted to say, but there was a lot of more experiences I had in that tank, but I was sitting in that chair and I was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
No.
Like, it's definitely sensory deprivation.
But it's, like, in the best way.
Yeah, there's like no sound and no light, and I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Yeah. I would do it again. All in all, I would recommend if you guys have something available for you to do close to you, I would try it out. And, if anything, you have a good story, or maybe you have a panic attack and end your session prematurely.
You know what would be so nice if there was like a nice, like a big pool size, and it was all like the same thing, but they had like stars on the ceiling, and it was all black,
like a planetarium.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would feel like
God.
I don't even know what the hell would happen. I would definitely like travel between dimensions at that point.
Maybe we just did and we don't know it yet.
How do you see with, like, I was seeing, like, how do you see in the dark? There's, like, if it's pitch black, like, what? Freaks me out, sorry. It just freaks me out.
I don't think you see in the dark.
No, but I'm saying if you're blind.
Oh.
You know?
They use their other senses.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what it's like, that's what your world, that's what the world is. But then you're, like, in the black and you're bumping into things. You know what I mean? Because you're seeing black, but you don't know objects. You know what I mean? Right?
No,
isn't that weird to think about?
It is.
So you're like, what am I bumping into? But I can't different. Oh my god. Alright. I digress.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, well, on that note, I guess we did light of facts at the beginning. We did a little mental health check-in. I guess to finish this up, I mean,
or it could just be like a little short episode.
Could be a shorter episode.
No, keep going.
Only at like a half hour or so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. What else should we talk about? Do you want to do rapid fire questions again?
Or we could do slow fire. Like my body's a little relaxed. I'm very relaxed.
I am too.
Can't you tell?
Oh, I guess the other thing, when I tried to stand up again after floating for an hour, it was a little bit of a strange experience because my muscles had to work again. They weren't fully supported and, floating anymore. And I don't know, that was a very strange experience to have to just stand up again.
You think you have muscle atrophy during that time?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't.
Okay. I was fine. I know you wanted me to agree when you walked out of the room. Like, did you have a problem like standing up? And I was like, no. It's like no, not really.
I didn't. I
just had nausea for like the following hour.
I didn't have a problem standing up. I just had trouble. Like my muscles just didn't want to work the same. But that's okay.
Well, maybe it's because you're a woman. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's body responds differently, just like everyone responds differently to medications. You know?
Way to save that. Way to save it.
Save that joke.
Okay. Well, I guess commence with the rapid fire questions. So, what's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Why?
I don't know, I just like Christmas. I think something about living in the Northeast and it's cold, and it's like, I don't know, it's like Christmas movies in the Northeast, that's what I think.
Okay.
It's not the same anytime where it's warm at Christmas in like other parts of the country. I don't think of it the same.
That's true. Or like Australia.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of summer.
Hawaii.
What?
Hawaii. Yeah. Oh, did we? I think we were just. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I really like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mm-hmm.
That's a classic one. I know. I also really like. I just watched Arrival a couple of months ago.
Oh, that was good. The aliens.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
That's something that's come true too.
Well, it made me.
They're probably here already.
Probably.
Hope they're tweeting.
Oh, well, side note, we'll get to robots in just a second. But the thing about the movie Arrival that stuck with me is the fact that how they portrayed time and how it makes you think about time. And then, like, that just changed my whole perspective. And I'm still thinking about it and how time is not linear. And it's circular or it's multi-dimensional.
Circular, oh my god.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to say in the pod. I was like, I have no, like, how long has it been? I was like, has it been, like, minutes? Has it been, like, an hour? Is the hour almost up? Clearly it wasn't up because I felt like it was definitely an hour. Like, it felt like an hour to me. And so I was like, what is it? What if there was no time? Like, if no one made it? Did you bring this up to me? If there was no time, or we weren't given time, would it move faster? Would it move slower? Like in sensory deprivation with no clock.
Well, time is a man-made construct.
Yes.
Like we put numbers on it. We tried to tame it. We tried to make sense of it, but it's not what we think it is.
Mm-hmm. But that's so. God, I can't even wrap my mind around it right now. What?
Are you okay? Are you having a stroke?
I feel like I'm hypoglycemic. I'm like hypovolemic. I'm hypotensive.
Oatmeal, 2 Eggos, and a Cliff Bar. How can you be hypoglycemic?
I am chronically underweight, and I need to gain weight, and I still like that's not a lot of food to be eating at 6'2", height 6'2".
Okay.
Do you think so?
I mean, I would be full for several hours on that.
No, I'm hungry. I could eat something right now. I could eat grilled cheese.
Well, I can always eat.
I can eat grilled cheese.
Well, let's go get some food after this.
But time.
Okay. I had a question for you, but okay. Mountains, beach, or rainforest?
Rainforest.
Why?
I love green, first off.
Okay.
And I love plants, second off, and I love animals, third off. Done.
Case closed.
Case closed.
Done.
No, it's like the 3 best combo. I wouldn't like to eat fruits though. I would like to have like a grocery store in the forest with me.
I don't think you can.
I know, but just like I would
Amazon.
Or peanut butter at least. Hopefully there's like some peanuts around.
Oh, hopefully.
Oh gosh, I love peanut butter.
Jeez.
I should have a peanut butter sandwich. For your question, I was gonna ask, what's your favorite type of? Oh, this is so corny. What's your favorite type of exotic animal? I changed it up a little.
Oh, an ocelot.
An ocelot? The hell's an ocelot? Like, I know the name, but I can't even picture it in my head right now.
It's like a little cat.
Ugh, what a corny fate. Mine's a giraffe.
Okay.
You don't like the corny joke. You're like, what? I like giraffes.
Shoot. You like the I like turtles thing.
I like turtles.
But you said I like giraffes.
Yeah. Does that count as your question to me?
No, because I didn't ask you. You answered your own question.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask you that. Okay. If you could be one other person for a day, who would you be?
Oh my god. Okay. One other person.
Mm-hmm.
Do I like if they say it's somebody that died in the end of that day? Like, is this just like you get to be that person for a day before they die, and then you go back to your own life?
Sure.
I'd be someone on the Titanic.
You're obsessed with the Titanic.
I love the Titanic, but I'd have to be in first class. I'm not going on the Titanic, no second, third class trip.
So would you be a woman then?
No, why would I be a woman? Why would I be a woman?
Because then you make it off the boat.
The men are the one that had the money back then.
Yeah, but they didn't get to make it off the boat.
But I just told you, I'm coming back to my normal life right now. It's fine if I live up until the time I die. Out
of anybody in the entire history of the world, past, present, future.
I don't know. It just came to my head.
Okay. All right.
Okay, maybe I should broaden my...
Well, no, you already answered it. You
can't
take
fine,
it
that's
back.
what I'd want to be. First class passenger. First class passenger.
A male first class passenger.
Yeah, about 35.
35 years old on the Titanic.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. American?
I guess it doesn't matter. Money's money. You got a lot of money, you got a lot of money. I could exchange it for American.
That's true. That's true. Good point.
Then I could try to help save people knowing I'm going back to my own. But then do you think that would mess up the Matrix?
Oh,
you know, if I save people that weren't supposed to live.
I had Matrix flashbacks in the pod when we were in the pod.
Matrix flashbacks?
Yeah,
what is a Matrix flashback?
That's a good point. I don't know why that came out of my mouth like that. No, you know in the Matrix when you see how they're plugged into the pods?
Yep, okay, yeah.
That's what I had
like
visions
Westworld.
of. Yeah. But Matrix came out like several years before Westworld. Even though Westworld is based on a Michael Crichton book, I'm pretty sure. I might have made that up. No, I think it was. Or it was a TV show that Michael Crichton...
No, Westworld was a book. Or
yeah.
No, it used to be a TV show.
It was going to be a TV show. Or maybe it was.
I think it was a TV show. Everyone told me it used to be a movie, maybe?
Michael Crichton, the guy who did Jurassic Park and all of those things, he's the one who came up with it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Now I feel like I have to Google that.
Don't you think it's weird that society's like showing us the same scenario over and over again? You got The Matrix, then you got Hunger Games, then you have Westworld. They're like trying to tell us this is actually Divergent. That they're like trying to say, bitches, like this is what is happening to you.
Wake up, humanity.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That'd be sad if I was I'm not a robot, but I don't want to chip him. That's too much to think about.
Robots. Side step into this. Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Ex Machina?
No. Oh, Ex Machina?
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
With Alicia Vikander and Domhnall Gleeson. Okay.
Is it S or L?
I said Machina.
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll have to ask Google how you say that, or Siri or somebody afterwards. But okay, so you know the premise of that movie. Oh, you haven't seen it. You just said that. So the premise of the movie is that this scientist makes these lifelike cyborgs or robots or whatever you want to call them, and they start to think for themselves, and then they go batshit crazy, kill all the humans, and escape from this compound that they're being held at. And then they go out into the real world. But they look like real humans. They act like real humans. They have the intelligence of them, even maybe a little bit more. So they just like mix in with society.
It's already happening now.
Yeah, right?
Already happening now.
I don't like it. I don't like these cars that drive themselves. I don't like...
Well, that Uber self-driving car just hit some old woman on the side of the road. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, this Uber was test driving its first self-driving car, and it was on the route, and it hit some bitch on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
And killed her.
What?
Yeah, it's sad. Guess I shouldn't have called her a bitch, but... I'm so used to saying it for intact female dogs, you know?
Yeah, bitches. Okay, well, yeah, another reason why robots are just not...
You know what I also... Sorry to extend this conversation about robots now, but what if all celebrities, like, had a thing where they get famous, right, off of their look and, like, their music and all that, and then there's, like, a robot that was created that looks exactly like them, that does all the concerts, like, you know, like, their body's always perfect and they always look good and, like, makeup on or like dress good, and then they just send that robot out into society, and that one and the person that is the actual famous one, the celebrity, just sits at home like with their friends and they reap all the money. Isn't that crazy to think about? I thought about this the other day and I knew it would be too much for you to handle. I thought about this.
I feel like that's a lot to take in. I guess it's possible they would have the money and the means to do it.
That's just going into like if society was so beyond like what we know, which it is. But
what about political figures doing that too? Like I'm sure that could happen as well if it already isn't. Yeah.
So yeah, everyone, anyone.
Ooh, I wouldn't want a robot me.
No.
No.
No, thank you. I would want one of me.
Like The Sims.
Yeah, and I could talk to. I don't want someone to talk to all the time. Never mind.
Man, those birds outside need to calm the F down.
It's tragic out there.
What is going on? Is
I
it
don't know.
Bird murder squad or something?
It's probably the cat upstairs. I let him on the balcony, but he's probably gonna like jump to his like fate down below.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Well, I think it's about time to wrap up this conversation.
We sound depressed.
I'm just really relaxed.
I know, but it's hard to tell through just audio. We don't sound the best today.
Yeah,
My
apologize.
jokes aren't really flowing well.
No.
Well,
Was that your attempt to be happy and cheerful?
Yep, that was my attempt to liven it up right before the end.
Well, on that note, I guess let us know. Don't forget to go on and give us a review on podcasts from Apple and
Instagram,
on our Instagram page at the Lidocaine Drip.
YouTube, the Lidocaine Drip.
And Twitter at the Lidocaine Drip too.
And share it with all your friends and family and coworkers.
Share it and let us know what you think or what you didn't like about the episode so that we can get to that at a later date and get you guys what you want to hear from us.
Figure our shit out.
Figure our shit out.
Figure our shit out.
All right.